Welcome back, everyone, to Augmented Voices. The deep dive that explores the amazing ways AI is sort of like, I don't know, collaborating with us and pushing what we can do further.
Yeah, it really is augmenting human potential.
Right. And today, we're going to look at how AI is impacting our real, everyday lives, not just digital stuff.
Yeah.
Like, imagine AI as your ultimate driving buddy, making AI voices sound really human, algorithms finding hidden resources, and even AI supporting our mental health. It's wild, but all these things show how AI is changing what we're capable of.
I think what's really interesting here is how AI's role is changing. We used to see it mainly for automating things like repetitive tasks, but now it's becoming more of a partner. It's like extending our senses, intelligence, even empathy in some ways.
That's a great point. Okay, so let's dive into something that might hit close to home for a lot of us, that daily commute. Imagine your car, right? Not just playing your tunes, but actually understanding your day and giving you helpful suggestions. That's the big idea behind what BMW and Alibaba are doing together in China.
You got it. The plan is to, integrate Alibaba's super advanced large language model, this thing called Quinn, into BMW's next-gen cars, those no-class models, starting in 2026.
So we're talking like 2 years from now.
Yeah, not that far off. And this isn't just about fancier voice commands. It's about having a co-pilot in your car that actually gets what's going on.
It's like they said in one of their examples. I'm having dinner with my parents and relatives tonight. Please recommend a restaurant near the west gate of Chaoyang Park with parking, light food, around 200 yuan per person, and good reviews. Now, could you imagine trying to get that out of our current car systems?
Oh, no way. That's too much for them.
Too much.
Too many things at once.
Uh-huh.
But Quinn is built to handle that kind of request. With all those details, you can figure out where you are, look at traffic in real time, search tons of restaurants, filter them based on what you like to eat and how much you want to spend, and even check out what other people are saying about those places to give you good recommendations.
That's impressive.
It's a big step for generative AI because it's taking it out of our devices and putting it into the real world, into something we use every day, like our cars.
And this is where it gets super cool. The car becomes like this AI-powered platform. It's not just the AI telling you things. It's the AI controlling different systems in the car, maybe even figuring out your mood. BMW and Alibaba are even launching 2 AI agents for this. What can you tell us about those?
So there's Car Genius, which basically knows everything about your car and can help you out with any questions or problems you might have.
Okay, handy.
Yeah. And then there's Travel Companion, which is like having a personal digital assistant for finding things to do, planning your trips, and finding local services. It's like having a really smart concierge in your car.
Like knowing everything that's going on around you.
Exactly.
And the thing is, Quinn, the AI running all of this isn't some new experiment.
No, not at all.
Almost 300,000 businesses are already using it.
Crazy, right?
That shows you how powerful it is and that it's already working at a huge scale. Now they're tailoring it specifically for driving, which is, a very specific environment. So zooming out a bit, what does all this tell us about where generative AI is headed?
Well, if you connect this to the bigger picture, generative AI isn't just about writing text or making pictures anymore. It's becoming part of these big, complicated systems in the real world. Like we're seeing it in how we get around, changing how we see our cars. They're not just vehicles anymore. They're becoming these smart, connected hubs in our digital lives.
Right. We've seen AI summarize tons of information, automate complicated processes, and now it can even pick the perfect restaurant for you while you're stuck in traffic. The car is turning into this whole AI experience. It's not just transportation anymore, like that idea. Your car knows you better than your calendar does.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's like saying AI can learn our routines and what we like, maybe even predict what we need based on how we usually do things.
Right. It's a bit spooky, but also kind of cool. Okay, so shifting gears a bit, let's talk about another area where AI is making some serious progress: voice technology. For a long time, it felt like we had to choose between AI voices that sounded good and natural and AI voices that could respond quickly.
Right, you had to pick one or the other.
Exactly. But now, this team up between Play AI and Groq seems to be changing that in a big way.
What's super exciting is how they've put together Play AI's fancy voice AI model called Dialogue with Groq's crazy fast cloud system that uses these things called LPUs. The result is speech generation that's 15 times faster than real time, meaning responses are almost instant, like 200 milliseconds to the first sound.
Wait, that's faster than we can even blink.
It is.
And it's not just speed. This system can actually make the AI voice sound human with all the tones and emotions, delivering 215 characters per second while still sounding natural. It's not like those old robotic voice assistants.
Nope, not at all. And this is a game changer for anyone working on things that use voice, whether it's making AI agents more engaging, designing better customer service bots, building awesome in-car assistants, or even creating cool new tools for podcasts. Dialogue can understand context, remember what you've been talking about, change its tone to fit the situation, and even tell different speakers apart.
It's like having an actual conversation.
Exactly. We're moving away from those clunky, awkward interactions we've all had with AI voices.
Yeah, so we're looking at a future where talking to AI feels a lot more natural and smooth without those weird silences and robotic pauses that make it feel so fake.
You got it. And this isn't some small thing. This is pointing to a huge boom in voice-based generative AI, just like what we've seen with text and images. The tech behind it is getting so good that it's going to change how we use our voices to interact with computers.
And it's great that they're focusing on supporting more languages too. Adding the first generative Arabic voice AI, specifically tuned for Saudi Arabian Arabic, is a really important step towards making this technology more accessible and inclusive worldwide.
Huge step forward. It's addressing a big need by bringing high-quality voice AI to languages that haven't had much attention in these areas. It's opening up all kinds of possibilities for localized apps and services.
So let's get a bit imaginative here. What kind of cool things can we do with this super fast, natural-sounding voice AI?
Well, imagine AI customer service agents that actually sound like they care, remember your past conversations, and make the whole experience much more human.
Yeah.
Or how about synthetic podcasts with realistic conversations between multiple AI voices? And what about real-time dubbing for videos that not only matches the timing of the original speech, but also gets all the emotions across?
That's mind-blowing.
It is. And think about in-app AI companions that actually feel like you're talking to a real person. This tech is seriously going to change things up.
It sounds like the voice revolution is here, and it's bringing a ton of new opportunities for developers, startups, and creators.
Absolutely. The tools are getting super powerful, and with voice AI becoming so fast and natural sounding, it's ready to be a part of tons of different applications, changing how we interact with tech as a whole.
Okay, let's switch gears now to something completely different but equally cool. Let's step away from the digital stuff for a sec and think about the real physical world. There's this startup called Earth AI that's using artificial intelligence in a way you wouldn't expect to find mineral deposits in Australia that have been missed for decades using traditional methods.
Yeah, they're basically using AI to find copper, cobalt, and gold.
It's a great example of AI helping us do things better in the real world. Earth AI trained its algorithms on this massive archive of Australian mining data going all the way back to the 1970s. It's full of info about the geology and what happened in all these exploration attempts, both the ones that found something and the ones that didn't.
And all that data has been just sitting there.
Just sitting there.
Right.
And Roman Tesluk, the founder of Earth AI, made a really interesting point. It's not just about knowing where to dig, it's about knowing how to decide where to dig. This old mining data is like a treasure trove of knowledge just waiting to be used.
That's the key. For years, nobody really knew what to do with all this data. What Earth AI did is use AI to analyze it all, looking for patterns and connections that human geologists might have missed.
Right. It's not just looking at successes, it's learning from the failures too, which is just as important.
Totally. And they're not just sitting in an office making predictions. They actually built their own drilling equipment to test what the AI found out in the real world. That shows you how much they believe in this technology.
It's a big investment to make.
It is.
And it shows that their AI is doing more than just coming up with theories. It's actually leading to real discoveries. And while this isn't exactly generative AI in the sense of making new stuff, it's using those same principles of training on massive data sets, finding hidden patterns, and getting results faster than traditional methods.
Yeah, it's the same basic idea.
It makes you think about all these other industries that have been around forever and are maybe a bit hesitant to change, like energy, healthcare, even infrastructure. If AI can find hidden potential in something as established as mining, what other problems could it help us solve by looking at data in new ways?
It's about using AI to enhance what humans already know. Like in this case, it's giving geologists a map to find resources where nobody thought to look before. It's combining human intuition with the huge power of AI to process tons of data.
So whether it's helping us have a conversation with a chatbot or telling a drill rig where to dig in Australia, AI's ability to see things we can't in data and patterns is leading to some incredible real-world discoveries.
Totally agree. It shows just how versatile AI is and how it can change not only our digital experiences, but also how we understand and interact with the physical world.
Okay, let's wrap things up by looking at a really interesting and potentially life-changing use of generative AI supporting our mental well-being. A recent clinical trial showed that an AI therapy bot called Thera-Bott can actually be really effective, with results comparable to therapy with a human therapist for things like depression, anxiety, and even eating
This
disorders.
is a big deal, especially because the study was done by a reputable institution like Dartmouth's Geisel School of Medicine and published in a respected journal, NEJM AI. It gives this technology scientific credibility, which is something a lot of those mental health chatbots out there don't have.
Yeah, and the results are pretty impressive, right? Over 8 weeks, people using Thera-Bott, sending about 10 messages a day, saw significant improvements in their depression and anxiety, and even their body image if they were at risk for eating disorders. What's really amazing is that these results were similar to what you might expect from 16 hours of traditional therapy, but it took half the time and didn't have the usual barriers like scheduling appointments and paying for therapy.
Exactly. And another key difference is that Thera-Bott wasn't just trained on random stuff from the internet. They specifically used evidence-based approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which helps people identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors. They made sure that how Thera-Bott interacts with people is based on real therapeutic principles.
Right, so it's not just spitting out random advice.
No, it's following proven methods. This makes it way different from those commercial chatbots that might not have that solid foundation.
So, as we come to the end of this deep dive on augmented voices, we've seen some really cool examples of how AI is working with us and making us more capable. We talked about AI co-pilots in our cars that can really understand what we need, super fast and natural sounding voice AI that's going to change how we interact with technology, AI finding valuable resources in unexpected places, and even the potential of AI to help us with our mental health.
It's all about AI pushing the boundaries of what we can do. It's exciting to see how it's being used in so many different areas.
And it makes us think about the future. As AI keeps becoming a bigger part of our lives, in both big and small ways, what new ways will we find to work with it and use it to our advantage? And how do we make sure that these powerful technologies are used for good? Those are big questions to think about as AI continues to evolve at such a fast pace.
We've got a lot to consider, that's for sure.
We do. Thanks for joining us today on Augmented Voices.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll catch you the next one.
See you next time.